have much time. I have a motorcycle out the back. We have to leave now. Come with me.
Oh, that was a clip from Priceless, a movie out now in select theaters that is inspired by true events. It's the story about a man who tragically loses his wife and custody of his little girl and now finds himself in the darkest crossroad in life. But the story takes a turn when this angry and desperate man agrees to take a no questions asked trip across country, only to find out he is helping and contributing to human trafficking. Joining me this morning to tell us more about this film are the brothers of For King and Country, Joel Smallbone, who plays the lead role, and his brother Luke, who is one of the producers of the film. Good morning, gentlemen. Such an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure.
Did I set that up right?
You did awesome. I was
good?
like, wow, look at this going.
We've set it up about 1,000 times. It was nice. Just like, hey, you take
And she might have done it better.
I had prompter to go along with it, but I did write it. But it is such an interesting story, and this is inspired by true events. Did this, for the most part, really happen?
Well, so there's two things at play here. One is with the band Luke and I are in For King Country. When we started out, Luke had just got married, and I actually met my now wife at his wedding. She was kind of a wedding crasher of sorts. And simultaneously to that, we started traveling as a band. And so this idea of relationships and love, commitment, romance was very keen on our hearts and minds. So we shared this simple message from stage for probably 30, 45 seconds, just saying, hey, first of all, to young ladies, know that you deserve to be treated with the utmost respect and honor. And to men, charging us to be chivalrous in how we love. And one of the tangible things we did, Carly, was we have these necklaces that have an Australian 1-cent coin on them. And they stood as a reminder to us that a woman's worth more than all the money in the world. And we made them available at every show. And we'd seen to date, we've seen about 300,000 Americans rally around this cause, almost like our generation was starving to hear this message.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah, and so we called it the Priceless Necklace, and out of that sort of explosion of the movement, we went to our brother Ben, who's a filmmaker, about 2.5, 3 years ago, and we said, hey, we really feel like there's a story that needs to be told here. And his eyes lit up, and he referenced a documentary that he'd been part of years prior. So we pulled the inspiration from that true story and kind of married it with this priceless movement. And from that moment, from inception of story to acting, producing, and now promoting, and it being in theaters nationwide, we've been a part of every.
So what has the reaction been like? You guys have been able to, you guys were just in Tampa with some theater folks here. I mean, what has the reaction been? I saw there was one engagement as well.
Yes, can you believe
That's right, yeah.
Well, as Joel said, I think that we live in a society that is starving to know who we are as people. I think we live in somewhat of an identityless culture, and people are looking at their phones, they're going to theaters, they're looking to culture to kind of define them rather than them being people that define culture. And I think our hope with this film is that people will know that they're worth, that the talents that they have are uniquely given to them, and that they play in a very, very important role in this world. And so for people to be able to see this film and to be able to know that they're worth something, and to see that response, for that to be actually spoken over them, and to see that played out in this wonderful story has been really, really amazing. And the responses has been crazy.
Well, and what I love is, because it is kind of a priceless campaign where you're trying to really, what I love is men, you guys are trying to say, hey, chivalry is alive. This is something that is worth, you know, I think as we have little ones at home, this is something we need to teach, you know, our children, or what, you know, you have boys at home. Is this something that, you know, you feel like needs to start from young?
I was asked recently, really, why are you doing it? I understand that you've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm like, man, I'm actually making this partly for my kids, because I want them to know that, okay, yes, all these other things that are told about you, or maybe you made fun of at school, or you're told these things that aren't true, that doesn't have to be what defines you. And for us to be able to tell the ladies in our life and to be able to live that out, like for me to be able to treat my wife as she deserves to be treated, you know, with respect and honor, and for my boys to see that played out, I think is huge.
Your kids will watch that.
We'll watch that. And so for us to be able to speak to large groups of people, to be able to speak these messages over them, I think is huge.
So what's next for you guys? Obviously there's a book, there's a movie, music, I mean...
There's a tour as well.
Yes.
Priceless, the tour which we're on right now, but we're super excited because this Christmas...
November 29th.
November 29th, we're going to be coming back for a For King and Country Christmas.
Yeah, with
you all,
another
right
one of my
here.
favorites with Lauren Daigle.
That's right, she'll be with us. But everything is really, the film for us right now. The story, the heartbeat of it, the mission of it is really what we're doing everything in our power to not only take to America, but to, the world.
Well, and it was interesting, we were talking about human trafficking as well, and this area, the Bay Area, Florida in general, is a huge hotbed for human trafficking. Have you kind of learned that as well as you kind of dived into this?
Oh, it's been an initiation of fire, for sure. One of the exciting things that the film is part of at the end of the movie, you know, you always get to the end of a film and you're like, after Braveheart, I want to get dressed up in a kilt and carry a sword.
You want to be William Wallace.
I want to be William Wallace. But you get to the end of this film. That's right, The Scotsman. But you have there's a real call to action at the end. And one of the things we're doing, we're talking about partnering with a company in Jacksonville to create a safe house for young ladies in response to the awareness and the inspiration that this film brings.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I guess there's some clips of the movie right there. People, it's still in theaters, so you can still see it today. What's the best way? Because I know it's select theaters. I know you guys have a great website where you can kind of plug in your zip code, find out where it's going to be playing closest to you.
Pricelessthemovie.com. Pricelessthemovie.com. You can see the trailer, you can get showtimes, hear stories, get involved. It's all right there.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you what you're doing to kind of bring light to this issue, and we look forward to coming you back. Yeah, come back and see us when you're back in Florida.
Lovely to be with you, Carly. Yes.
Maybe we'll get you to perform as well. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much, Carly.